Hello adventurers, welcome to our epic journey through the rich and storied history of Gielinor. Before we dive into the depths of the past, I'm excited to guide you through the fascinating lore that shaped the world we know today. In this video we're going to explore the ages of RuneScape, starting from the very beginning. We'll uncover the origins of Gielinor, the rise of the gods, and the creation of magic. This is a tale of divine intervention, mystical creation, and the foundational events that set the stage for the adventures we embark on as players. Before we get into the thrilling events of the 5th Age, where we as players start our journey, it's essential to understand the incredible lore that precedes it. Everything before the 5th Age is a testament to the evolution of Gielinor, an era where gods shaped the world, empires rose and fell, and the magic we wield today was first forged. So grab yourself a drink, get comfy with a snack, and settle in. We're about to embark on a captivating journey through the ages of RuneScape, from the creation of Gielinor to the day that we, as a player, first set foot in the world. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful journey, and let's explore this epic saga that shaped the world of RuneScape as we know it today. Welcome to the primordial beginnings of Gielinor, where the seeds of existence were sown and the stage was set for the epic saga that would unfold across the ages. This is the story of the First Age, a time of divine discovery, creation, and the birth of civilizations. 17 years before the dawn of the new era, the world of Gielinor was discovered by Guthix, the god of balance. Emerging from the void, Guthix found a world rich with potential, but devoid of sentient life. Guthix, with his immense power, began to shape the land. He nurtured Gielinor, bringing forth forests, mountains, and rivers. It was during this time that various races were introduced to Gielinor, setting the foundation for its future inhabitants. Amidst this transformation, Serene, the goddess of beauty and tranquility, arrived on Gielinor. Serene's influence was profound. She constructed the Tower of Voices in the heart of the forest. Making the foundation of Prifddinas, the tower served as a beacon, drawing the elves of Gielinor who would come to revere it as a sacred site. The World Gate, a mystical portal between worlds, was opened. Through this gateway, the first humans arrived on Gielinor. They came from a realm described as having a great many people, and a far less strange people and scientific laws. Guthix appeared before these new arrivals, urging them to cherish and respect their new world. His message was clear: use the land wisely, and do not abuse the gifts it offered. As the humans began to explore their new surroundings, they were observed by Hallined, the elf. This interaction marked the beginning of a new chapter in Gielinor's history. Guthix, in his wisdom, used the power of the Stone of Jazz to create the very essence of magic in Gielinor. He scattered runestones throughout the land, infusing them with mystical energy. This act allowed sentient races to harness and practice magic. Among the early practitioners of magic was Jack, who founded the Wizards Guild. This institution became a cornerstone of magical education and practice in Gielinor. Midway through the First Age, Guthix descended deep into the earth, beginning a slumber that would last approximately 8,000 years. His absence marked a period of transition and uncertainty for Gielinor. With Guthix in his deep slumber, other gods began to arrive on Gielinor. Each deity brought their unique attributes and followers, setting the stage for the complex and often tumultuous interactions that would define the Second Age. In the year 3427 marked a pivotal moment as Zaros, the Empty Lord, arrived next to a small village that would come to be known as Sentistan. This event heralded the beginning of the Second Age, a time of great change and divine conflict. Zaros' arrival marked the dawn of a new era, characterized by the rise of powerful empires and the shifting balance of power among the gods. As we reflect on the First Age, we see the profound impact of Guthix's vision. His creation of the world and the introduction of magic were foundational moments that defined the future of Gielinor. Guthix's guidance ensured that the world began with balance and potential. The birth of magic, facilitated by the Stone of Jazz, became a cornerstone of life in Gielinor, shaping the experiences and adventures of countless beings. Zaros' arrival heralded the end of this formative age and the beginning of a new epoch, fraught with divine intrigue and conflict. The changes that followed would forever alter the landscape of Gielinor and the lives of its inhabitants. This was the First Age. Welcome to the Second Age of Gielinor, a time of divine arrivals, epic battles, and the rise and fall of mighty empires. This epoch is marked by the arrival of new gods, the forging of alliances, and transformative conflicts that shape the destiny of Gielinor. In the dawn of the Second Age, the enigmatic deity Zaros descended upon Gielinor, emerging from a rift in the fabric of reality, with an aura of dominance and mystery. Zaros set his sights on this world, intent on forging a new empire from its diverse lands. Zaros, the Empty Lord, was a figure of immense power and ambition. His arrival heralded the beginning of a new era, one that would see the rise of the Zarosian Empire and a dramatic shift in the balance of power. Meanwhile, in the scorching sands of what would become the Caridian region, Tumikun and Elidinis founded their empire, laying the foundations of what would come to be known as the Menethite Kingdom. Their children, Icthurin and Amasket, were pivotal in shaping the culture and politics of this new empire. Tumikun, the radiant god of sun, bestowed upon the land a pantheon of deities to oversee various aspects of life and worship. Het, the god of health and protection, Atmakan, the goddess of social pleasures and festivity, Krondis, the crocodile-headed goddess of sustenance, and Scapers, the god of isolation and secrecy. These deities form the cornerstone of the Caridian belief system. To honor Het, his followers constructed the Duel Arena, a grand edifice designed for the training of warriors and the honing of combat skills. It became a symbol of martial prowess and a venue where champions were forged. During the Second Age, a notable duel took place in the Sentistan Colosseum. Zuk, a powerful figure within the Zarosian Empire, defeated Torva in combat, reclaiming his freedom and solidifying his position within the Empire. This is a very interesting point within the Second Age, because these are two characters that we have either at least heard of in the current age of RuneScape as players. So Zuk and Torva were around in the Second Age dueling each other. I think that's pretty cool. Guthix's World Gate, a crucial portal connecting Gielinor to other realms which we saw in the First Age, was sealed by Zarosian forces. This action cut off the crystal seed supply from Seren's world, isolating the elves and impacting their access to crucial resources. During the Second Age, Zaros discovered the Dragon Riders, an elite race from another world. Despite their infertility, a condition Zaros could not cure, the Dragon Riders became some sort of Zaros' most formidable followers. By the time of Zamorak's betrayal, their numbers had dwindled to just 5. In the verdant and heavily wooded region that would later be renamed as Mauritania, the Saradomist Icines established their rule. Known for their devotion to Saradomin, the Icene resided in the capital city of Hallowvale, a major settlement in this region. Their kingdom, marked by its arable land and dense forests such as Humblethorn and Hallowglade, thrived under their leadership. Hallowvale, the heart of their civilization, was a bustling city that epitomized their devotion to Saradomin. This era of prosperity and peace for the Icene would eventually give way to the vampiric domination in the Third Age, leading to the renaming of the land as Mauritania. Before the ravages of war scarred the land, 4-3 was a lush, green expanse of Gielinor, rich in resources and ideal for settlement. As Gielinor emerged from the First Age, Zaros' empire expanded into this fertile region, establishing powerful cities such as Dariak, Karangla, Anakal, and Garok. Under Zaros, 4-3 became a cornerstone of his mighty empire, which extended from the northern reaches of 4-3 through the northwest of Mistalin and into the northeast of Mauritania. The region was a jewel of Zarosian might, marked by its impressive cities and fortified settlements. Emerging from the hellish plain of Ubiusk, Bandos, the big high war god, arrived in Gielinor with his formidable followers. A god of war and bloodshed, Bandos revelled in conflict and slaughter, and he brought with him a host of brutish races, goblins, trolls, ogres, and orcs, whom he had crossbred in his home realm. Bandos' forces, driven by sheer strength and brutality, were a testament to his dominance. His armies fought not merely for conquest, but for the sheer pleasure of battle, with Bandos himself exhibiting an unrelenting thirst for conflict. General Vigora, one of Zaros's few human generals, constructed a grand edifice known as Vigora's Fortress in an attempt to showcase humanity's capabilities. He envisioned it as a testament to the prowess of humankind under Zaros's rule. However, the ambitious project soon faced disaster. The fortress began to sink into the swamp due to inadequate groundwork, and the dungeons were inundated with water. This led to Vigora's deep humiliation, and the fortress came to be seen as Vigora's folly. The war between the Zarosian Empire and the Caridian forces saw significant involvement from the Majorat. Led by Zamorak, they helped repel Zarosian forces, driving them from Menethos and securing a crucial victory for the Menethite pantheon. Icthurin and Amascut are responsible for bringing the Majorat to Gielinor to aid in their efforts. The horrors of war had a profound effect on Amascut. Witnessing the death and destruction caused by the Majorat twisted her mind, transforming her into the goddess of destruction. Her mind, once a beacon of hope and rebirth, now harbored a hunger for annihilation. Amascut's newfound obsession with destruction led her to undermine Icthurin's work, releasing soul devourers into the underworld and erasing souls entirely. This forced Icthurin into a more direct role, safeguarding each soul he escorted to the afterlife, a task that left him with little time for other interventions. In the year of 1780, Zamorak, a trusted general within the Zarosian Empire, orchestrated a cunning plan to overthrow his master, Zaros. With the Staff of Armadil in hand, Zamorak confronted Zaros. Their battle was fierce, and the staff became a conduit for divine power. In a decisive moment, Zamorak defeated Zaros, siphoning his power and ascending to godhood, marking a pivotal shift in Gielinor's history. I will leave a link to a video in the description called The Story of Zamorak, and it will depict the events much clearer and in more detail, but I didn't feel the need to repeat myself in this video. But if you do want to go check that out, it will be in the description. Hopefully you enjoy that one too. Immediately following Zaros' defeat, Zamorak travelled to Infernus. There he aided the Avanic demons in overthrowing the Chthonians. For 17 years, Zamorak and the Avanic demons waged a brutal war, ultimately destroying or exiling the Chthonians. Returning to Gielinor, Zamorak commanded a vast army of demons, powerful enough to conquer the world. He declared war on the other gods, seeking to reclaim the Stone of Jazz from Saradomin. This marks the very beginning of the Third Age. A time of great upheaval and profound change. After the chaos of the Second Age, a new era dawns with the return of a formidable power. Zamorak, the once mortal and now ascended god of chaos and destruction, makes his grand return to Gielinor. His rise to godhood not only marked the end of the Second Age, but heralded the beginning of the Third, an epoch soon to be defined by conflict and divine strife. Zamorak's return signifies the onset of the Third Age, also known as the God Wars. Amidst the chaos of the Third Age, a new chapter of conflict unfolds. The once mighty Zarosian Empire, a symbol of power and order under the rule of the god Zaros, faces a dire threat. In a shocking alliance, Saradomis and Zamorakians unite with a singular purpose: to obliterate the Zarosian Empire and eradicate all traces of Zaros. This brutal campaign is driven by a desire to remove the influence of Zaros and reshape the world in their own image. The defenders of the Empire, loyal to the fallen god Zaros, fight desperately to protect their legacy. Yet they face overwhelming odds as the combined might of their enemies threatens to dismantle everything they have built. The Zarosian extermination is a devastating campaign aimed not only at defeating an empire, but erasing the entire memory of Zaros from the annals of history. Every monument, every reference, every piece of Zarosian heritage is targeted for destruction. United by their hatred of Zaros, the Saradomis and Zamorakians coordinate their efforts with ruthless efficiency, driven by the belief that the world must be purified of any remnants of Zaros' influence. As the Zarosian extermination reaches its climax, the Empire lies in ruins. Yet, the impact of this campaign is not just in the destruction, but in the lasting scars it leaves on the world, a testament to the fervent conflict of the Third Age. In the wake of devastation, the world continues to turn, forever changed by the bloodshed and the relentless pursuit of divine supremacy. In the wake of the relentless conflict in the Third Age, the gnomes and dwarves, once proud and prominent, find themselves forced into hiding. As the world above becomes increasingly dangerous, these resilient races seek refuge from the chaos. The dwarves, driven underground by the turmoil, establish a new stronghold deep beneath the mountains. This city, known as Keldagrim. Its intricate design features a vast network of tunnels and chambers, making it one of the largest dungeons in RuneScape today. The elves retreat to the safety of their ancient city Prifddinas. This city, a beacon of their grandeur and mystique, offers them refuge from the chaos beyond its gates. Prifddinas stands as a bastion of elven strength and wisdom. Its protective barriers and advanced enchantments provide a sanctuary for the elves, allowing them to regroup and fortify their defences against the encroaching darkness. Within the safety of Prifddinas, the elves prepare for any eventuality. Their efforts are focused on preserving their way of life and safeguarding their city from the turmoil engulfing the world. Yet, not all the elves are content to remain within the city's walls. A courageous few venture out of Prifddinas, driven by a fierce sense of duty and personal resolve. These warriors and defenders choose to confront the chaos on their own terms. Circa 1650 of the Third Age, a pivotal conflict unfolds, the battle for the ritual site. Next, a formidable lieutenant of Zaros leads her Zarosian army into this critical confrontation, seeking to assert the dominance of her fallen god. Nex, a being of immense power and one of Zaros' most loyal servants, marshals her forces with strategic precision. The ritual site, a location of great significance to the Zarosian cause, becomes the focal point of their efforts. However, the Saradomis, driven by their own divine mission, mount a fierce resistance. Their holy zeal clashes with the dark power of the Zarosian forces, turning the battlefield into a cauldron of conflict. Despite Nex's immense power and the fervour of her army, the Saradomis' resolve proves unyielding. The battle reaches a critical conjuncture as the Saradomis, determined to end the threat, begin to turn the tide. In a desperate bid to contain the threat, the Saradomis execute a powerful ritual, sealing Nex and her followers within the ancient prison, a mystical and inescapable prison created to hold the mightiest of foes. Nex and her loyal followers find themselves trapped, their ambitions thwarted. The ancient prison becomes their new confinement, a place of dark irony where they are held at bay, cut off from the world they sought to reshape. Circa 1650 of the Third Age, a new force arises under the banner of Saradomin, the Temple Knights. This elite military organization, also known as the Knights of the Temple, is founded to serve the divine will of Saradomin and protect the realm of Asgarnia. The Temple Knights are formed as a traditionally Saradomis military order, dedicated to upholding the tenets of their faith and defending their lands from both internal and external threats. Led by the elusive Survey Lance, the Temple Knights embark on their mission with a focus on secrecy and strategic influence. While some members are genuinely loyal to Saradomin, the order operates with a level of discretion, acting as sleeper agents within and beyond Asgarnia. The Temple Knights engage in covert operations to counter threats from within Asgarnia and beyond. Their role as sleeper agents allows them to work behind the scenes, ensuring that Saradomin's influence remains strong and unchallenged. In the midst of the Third Age's ceaseless conflicts, a new and ominous chapter begins. Lord Draken, the feared vampire lord, launches a devastating campaign against the Saradomis kingdom of Halavale. Lord Draken, a vampire of immense power and ambition, seeks to extend his dominion. With his vampire legions at his side, he wages a relentless assault on Halavale, intent on claiming the land for himself. The kingdom of Halavale, under the rule of Queen Afarate and King Acertis, faces an existential threat. Despite their valiant efforts, the overwhelming force of the vampires threatens to overrun their defences. The battle is fierce and unforgiving. As the vampires breach the kingdom's defences, the fate of Halavale hangs in the balance. The once proud kingdom is soon engulfed in darkness and destruction. In the aftermath of the conquest, Queen Afarate is imprisoned, and her fate sealed within the cold, dark confines of a vampire dungeon. King Acertis, once a proud and noble ruler, is subjected to a horrific transformation, becoming a vampire himself under Draken's malevolent will. With Halavale now under his control, Lord Draken establishes the land of Mauritania, a realm that bears the dark imprint of his conquest. The once beautiful kingdom is now a land of shadows and vampiric rule. Amid the shifting alliances and fierce battles, another significant event unfolds. Azanandra, a high-ranking and powerful Magyarat loyal to Zaros, finds himself ensnared in an unexpected fate. Once a revered figure among the Zarosian Magyarat, Azanandra faces an unforeseen imprisonment. The Yaldrak Pyramid, known for its arcane and ancient power, becomes the prison for this esteemed servant of Zaros. Within the depths of the pyramid, Azanandra is confined in a specially constructed chamber, bound by powerful runes and enchantments. The Yaldrak Pyramid, with its mystic defences, is designed to suppress his immense abilities and prevent his escape. The Yaldrak Pyramid, a site of both ancient lore and arcane significance, becomes a cage for Azanandra. Its intricate and formidable design reflects the gravity of his imprisonment and the efforts taken to ensure his confinement. Turning the eyes to the Caridian Desert, it becomes a battleground for devastating conflicts. The once thriving city of Uza, a beacon in the desert, faces a catastrophic assault. Thamaron, a formidable demon and one of Zamorak's most feared followers, orchestrates the destruction of Uza. His dark powers and demonic legions sweep across the city, bringing devastation in their wake. Uza is ravaged by Thamaron's onslaught, the city's defences falter under the relentless assault, and the vibrant life that once characterised Uza is reduced to ashes and ruin. In the wake of the destruction, Uza lies in ruins, a stark reminder of the destructive power wielded by Zamorak's forces. The city's fall marks a significant loss in the struggle of the Third Age. Meanwhile, another city faces a grim fate. Uluk, another key settlement in the Caridian Desert, is about to fall victim to a different force of destruction. Balfred Krirath, one of Krill Tusaroth's formidable bodyguards, alongside his companions, Zalgrich and Sanan Karlak, spearheads of the assault on Uluk. His demonic strength and strategic prowess bring a new wave of terror. As Balfred's army engulfs Uluk, the city faces a similar fate as Uza. The once proud city succumbs to the overwhelming force, its structures reduced to rubble, and its people displaced. It's important for us to realise that these cities are places that many of us either are not aware of or don't even think of as cities. These were full, intact cities that Zamorak, not even his own power, but his minions' power, were capable of absolutely decimating, to the point where they do not exist in the world today. Sentistin, the illustrious capital of the Zarosian Empire, stands as a beacon of grandeur and power. For centuries, it was the heart of a vast empire, its influence stretching across many lands. However, the tides of fate are ever-changing. The Zarosian Empire, once a formidable force, begins to wane. External pressures and internal strife converge, leading to a period of decline and instability. As the Empire's enemies close in, Sentistin faces mounting assaults. The city, once impregnable, becomes a battleground of desperation. The defenders of the Zarosian pride fight valiantly, but the situation grows increasingly dire. In a dramatic and heartbreaking turn, the walls of Sentistin fall. The capital, a symbol of the Zarosian Empire's might, is reduced to ashes and rubble. The city's fall marks a pivotal moment in the decline of a once great empire. The fall of Sentistin reduces the Zarosian Empire to a shadow of its former self. The empire, once an unstoppable force, is left in ruin, its influence shattered and its legacy forever altered. Amid the ruins, the Saradomis see an opportunity. As the remnants of Sentistin fall into chaos, Saradomin's forces move in to claim the remnants of the once mighty city. With determination and divine purpose, the Saradomis set about reclaiming and restoring the ruins. The goal is not merely to salvage the city, but to establish a new beacon of their faith in the heart of the former Zarosian capital. From the ashes of Sentistin, a new city emerges. Named Saranthium, the new settlement is designed to reflect Saradomist ideals and serve as a stronghold for their influence in the region. Saranthium rises from the ruins as a symbol of Saradomist authority. The city is built with a focus on divine order and piety, showcasing the Saradomist commitment to restoring and expanding their influence. As the Third Age nears its end, Zamorak's power wanes. The once mighty god has been pushed back and contained within the Forinthry region. His defeat seemingly inevitable, the final stages of the God Wars are marked by a desperate struggle to ensure his ultimate downfall. In response to the looming threat, Saradomin, Armadil, and Bandos form an unprecedented alliance. Their goal? To forge a weapon of unparalleled power, the Godsword, designed to secure Zamorak's final defeat. The Godsword is a symbol of the gods, determination and unity. Crafted with divine precision, it embodies their collective resolve to vanquish Zamorak and bring an end to the conflict that has ravaged the world. With the Godsword completed, the weapon is prepared for transport. Its arrival at the battlefield is anticipated as a decisive moment in the struggle against Zamorak. The transport unit bearing the Godsword navigates through treacherous territory, yet the journey is fraught with peril as Zamorak's forces prepare to intercept and seize the powerful weapon. Zamorak's minions launch a brutal assault on the transport unit. A fierce battle ensues, with both sides engaging in a desperate struggle over control of the Godsword. The God Wars dungeon transformed into a chaotic battleground. All factions converge in the dungeon, each seeking to claim the Godsword and seize the advantage in the God Wars. Amidst the turmoil, CharlieScape intervenes, orchestrating the brief release of Nex. Her presence momentarily shifts the dynamics of the battle, intensifying the conflict among the factions. Nex's brief freedom wreaks havoc on the battlefield. Her formidable presence disrupts the ongoing conflict, creating a moment of intense chaos as factions vie for control. In response to the threat posed by Nex, the factions unite, a rare display of cooperation. Their combined efforts succeed in re-imprisoning Nex, restoring a semblance of order to the chaos. With Nex re-imprisoned, the immediate threat is quelled. The Godsword remains a crucial element in the struggle, symbolizing the last hope for ensuring Zamorak's final defeat. The forging of the Godsword and the dramatic events that follow underscore the high stakes of the God Wars. As the conflict reaches its climax, the struggle for supremacy continues, with each faction striving for control of the destiny of the world. In the wake of the chaotic struggle for the Godsword, the alliance of Saradomin, Armadil and Bandos corner Zamorak, their combined might pushing him to the brink. The god of chaos finds himself trapped and desperate. Driven to desperation, Zamorak grasps the unstable Stone of Jazz. This ancient artifact, imbued with immense and unpredictable power, becomes his last hope to turn the tide in his favor. As the Stone of Jazz is activated, its unstable energy begins to surge uncontrollably. Zamorak harnesses its power in a final, reckless bid to reshape the battlefield and secure his dominion. In a blinding flash, the Stone of Jazz unleashes its devastating power. The land of Forinthry is incinerated in a cataclysmic explosion, its very essence torn asunder by the sheer force of the artifact's magic. The explosion leaves Forinthry a land of devastation. The once thriving region is transformed into the wilderness we know today. Its land scarred and cursed by the unleashed power of the Stone of Jazz. The wilderness, born from destruction and dark magic, becomes the new battleground. As the God Wars continue, the world faces an uncertain future, with the scars of the past shaping the conflicts of tomorrow. In the wake of the catastrophic explosion that reshaped Forinthry into the wilderness, the impact extends beyond the immediate devastation. The upheavals of the God Wars and Zamorak's final act have wrought untold destruction upon the diverse creatures of Gielinor. Once home to the myriad fantastical beings, Aviancy, Icene, centaurs, light creatures, wyrms, white dragons, orcs, ogres, the lands are now desolate. The cataclysm has led to the near extinction of these creatures, their inhabitants devastated and their populations decimated. The balance of the world is disrupted, awakening Guthix from his long slumber. The god of balance, disturbed by the chaos of the God Wars, stirs with a newfound determination. Guthix, accompanied by his loyal followers, prepares to reassert balance and confront the gods and their warring factions. His return signals a new chapter in the ongoing conflict, as he takes a stand against the turmoil that has gripped Gielinor. Among Guthix's followers is Eternum, a powerful and devoted servant. In a bold move, Eternum invokes her mastery over time to intervene in the ongoing conflict. The God Wars dungeon, a nexus of divine and demonic conflict, becomes the focus of Eternum's intervention. The battle rages on, in a dangerous clash of power and fury. With a burst of mystical energy, Eternum freezes time within the God Wars dungeon. The combatants caught in the throes of battle are suddenly immobilized, their conflict suspended in an eternal moment. As Guthix witnesses the suspended conflict, he remains resolute in his mission. His return and Eternum's invention mark a significant shift in the struggle, as the balance of power is realigned. With Guthix trying to restore the balance in Gielinor, he decides to take a monumental step. Determined to restore order, he prepares to banish the most powerful gods and establish a new framework for divine interaction. Guthix, wielding the full extent of his authority, commands the most powerful gods to withdraw from Gielinor. His goal is to impose a new order, one that will curtail the destructive influence of divine beings upon the world. In a decisive display of power, Guthix forces the gods into retreat. His banishment of the divine beings reshapes the cosmic order, establishing a new era of relative peace and stability. With the gods banished, Guthix establishes the Edicts of Guthix, sacred laws designed to prevent their return. These edicts serve as a binding framework, regulating the involvement of divine entities in the mortal realm. Among the gods, Serene faces a unique dilemma. Fearing the consequences of the edicts and unwilling to be forcibly exiled, she makes a drastic choice to avoid the new constraints. In a poignant and dramatic act, Serene shatters herself into countless crystal fragments. This self-fracture is a desperate measure to escape the constraints of the edicts, ensuring her survival, but in a different form. Serene's fragmented form now exists as scattered crystal shards across the world. Each shard carries a fragment of her divine essence, a silent testament to her attempt to evade the edicts while preserving her existence. In a final act of preservation and protection, Guthix brings the Stone of Jazz to the ancient Guthix Temple. The stone, a source of immense and unstable power, must be sealed away to prevent further calamity. Having secured the stone, Guthix embarks on a journey across Gielinor. His path takes him through the ravaged lands, where he witnesses firsthand the widespread devastation caused by the conflicts and upheavals. As Guthix traverses the scarred and broken world, his heart is heavy with grief. The destruction wrought by the God Wars and the upheavals is a stark reminder of the cost of divine conflict and the fragility of balance. Guthix's mourning manifests in a powerful and symbolic way. The tears of Guthix, the ethereal orbs of divine sorrow, begin to form around him. Each tear embodies the god's deep sadness and regret over the devastation that unfolded. In the wake of all the actions by Guthix, he establishes the Guardians of Guthix, a dedicated order tasked with upholding the principles of balance and preserving the harmony of Gielinor. The Guardians are entrusted with the sacred duty of maintaining equilibrium in the world, ensuring that the forces of chaos and order remain in balance. Their role becomes pivotal in safeguarding the legacy of Guthix. To aid in this sacred task, the Balance Elemental is created, a formidable entity embodying the essence of balance. Its existence serves as a living testament to the divine equilibrium that Guthix strives to protect. With the Guardians established and the Balance Elemental set in motion, Guthix prepares to return into his slumber. His task, though monumental, is now in the capable hands of his loyal followers. As the cataclysmic God Wars drew to a close, the land of Gielinor began to heal from the scars left by the divine conflicts. The Fourth Age dawned, marking a period of relative peace and recovery. It was during this time that the Gnomes, a reclusive and resourceful race, emerged from their underground sanctuaries. They had sought refuge deep beneath the earth to escape the devastating battles that raged on the surface. The Gnomes, ever cautious and ingenious, slowly began to re-establish their presence in the world. Their hidden cities, untouched by the chaos of the God Wars, became beacons of civilization amidst the ruins. The return of the Gnomes heralded a new era of growth and exploration, as they ventured into the remnants of a world reshaped by divine hands. In stark contrast to the Gnomes, the Dwarves remained oblivious to the end of the God Wars for millennia. Deep within their mountain fortresses, they continued their age-old traditions and crafts, cut off from the changing world above. Their isolation preserved their culture and technology, but left them unaware of the shifting powers and new alliances forming in Gielinor. However, peace was not universal in this age. The Fourth Age was also marked by internal strife and power struggles, particularly among the followers of the god Bandos. Banished at the end of the God Wars, Bandos' influence did not fade entirely. His loyal followers, warriors bred for battle, found themselves leaderless and aimless. In the ancient and formidable Warforge, these warriors turned on each other, igniting what became known as the Forge War. This brutal conflict saw Bandos' army divided, each faction vying for control in a desperate bid to claim dominance in the god's absence. The Warforge, a site of countless battles and bloodshed, became a symbol of the enduring chaos that Bandos' legacy had wrought. During the Fourth Age, the followers of Guthix, the god of balance, dramatically increased their devotion. Druids and other worshippers constructed numerous stone circles across Gielinor to honour Guthix and seek his guidance. These sacred sites became centres of worship, meditation, and ritual, embodying the principles of balance and harmony that Guthix represented. The stone circles served as gathering places for the faithful, who sought to maintain the delicate equilibrium of the world in the wake of the God Wars. Amidst these tumultuous times, another significant event began to unfold: the ritual of rejuvenation. This mysterious ceremony, held every 500 years, saw the remaining Majorat of Gielinor gather in the remote north. The ritual was a grim yet vital process, where one Majorat was sacrificed to imbue the others with renewed power. The cycle of sacrifice and rejuvenation was essential for their survival and strength. The ritual of rejuvenation was a dark testament to the Majorat's enduring struggle for power and immortality. Each iteration of the ritual brought tension and intrigue as the Majorat schemed and plotted, knowing that one of their own would be chosen for sacrifice. The ominous ceremony and the events leading up to it were collectively known as the ritual, and they played a crucial role in the power dynamics among the Majorat. During the Fourth Age, a new and formidable threat emerged: the Dragonkin. These ancient and powerful beings posed a significant danger to the world of Gielinor. However, a hero named Robert the Strong rose to meet this challenge. With unmatched bravery and skill, Robert the Strong drove the Dragonkin into hiding, curbing their menace and ensuring the safety of Gielinor's inhabitants. His legendary deeds against the Dragonkin cemented his place in history as one of the age's greatest heroes. As the Fourth Age progressed, the inhabitants of Gielinor began to establish permanent settlements, signifying a shift towards stability and growth. The island of Intrana, known for its peaceful monks and serene environment, became a significant site of settlement. The monks of Intrana, seeking tranquility and spiritual enlightenment, constructed their monastery, which became a beacon of peace in a world still recovering from the horrors of war. In the heart of Asgarnia, the mighty city of Falador rose. Founded by noble knights and their followers, Falador became a bastion of order and justice. Its grand white walls and bustling marketplaces symbolized the resurgence of civilization and the hope for a brighter future. Falador's establishments marked a significant step forwards towards rebuilding and unity among human kingdoms. Across the lush and tropical lands of Karamja, settlements began to flourish as well. The diverse and resource-rich environment of Karamja attracted settlers seeking new opportunities and adventures. From the bustling ports of Musa Point to the mysterious jungles of Shiloh Village, Karamja became a land of exploration and promise, drawing people from all corners of Gielinor. Another significant event of the Fourth Age was the founding of Avaroka, later known as Varrock. This city holds the distinction of being the oldest surviving human settlement outside the Caridian Desert. Its origins are intertwined with the legend of Arav, one of Gielinor's most celebrated heroes. Avaroka's founding began with a tribe discovering an abandoned baby. Viewing this child as a good omen, they adopted him. This child would grow up to become Arav, whose heroic deeds and legendary status became the cornerstone of Varrock's history. Under Arav's influence and the tribe's growing power, Avaroka expanded and prospered. The people of Avaroka, emboldened by their increasing strength, began to conquer neighbouring tribes, eventually forming the first human nation of Mistalin. However, during the mid-Fourth Age, Mistalin was a less cohesive nation and more a loose conglomeration of tribes united under Varrock's influence. True nationhood, as understood by modern scholars, would not materialise until the end of the Fourth Age. As large human settlements fortified themselves, the goblin tribes faced a dire struggle for survival and resources. When the Fourth Age began, many goblin tribes fiercely competed against other races. In the early Fourth Age, goblins battled with ogres in the Feldip Hills, where they had coexisted for ages. However, the ogres' superior strength forced the goblins to migrate northward to the Kandarin areas. Here, the goblins clashed with gnomes, leading to intense battles. The gnomes, utilizing powerful illusion spells, managed to repel the goblin attacks, forcing them to cease their assaults and settle wherever they could find refuge. As the Fourth Age progressed, the goblins found themselves increasingly outmatched in the competition for resources. This infernal strife culminated in the infamous Battle of the Plain of Mud, where goblin tribes turned against each other in a desperate bid for dominance. The battle was so ferocious that it nearly drove the goblins to extinction. Throughout the Fourth Age, the majority of goblins weakened and their intelligence diminished, rendering them a minor threat to other races. Despite this decline, they continued to spread across regions such as Asgarnia and Mistalin. Eventually, near the end of the Fourth Age, some goblin tribes managed to establish small permanent settlements, with Goblin Village becoming the most well-known. Meanwhile, the cave goblins remained secluded underground, free from major conflicts. Their main city, Dorgesh Khan, flourished, advancing in magic and technology. In the early 19th century of the Fourth Age, they made contact with Juna and light creatures, marking a significant milestone in their history. Despite the increasing settlements and growing stability, Mistalin, particularly Avaroka, faced a dire threat from the dark creatures of Mauritania. These malevolent beings launched relentless attacks on the fledgling human settlements, seeking to spread their corruption and chaos. Avaroka, standing as a beacon of human resilience, became the primary target of these assaults. In response to this existential threat, 7 brave priestly warriors rose to defend their homeland. These warriors, imbued with divine power and unwavering faith, fought valiantly against the forces of darkness. Their most significant act of defense was the blessing of the River Salve. By sanctifying its waters, they created a formidable barrier that was impassable to creatures aligned with Zamorak. This divine protection ensured that the dark creatures from Mauritania could no longer cross into Mistalin, securing the safety of its inhabitants and allowing the region to flourish free from the immediate threat of darkness. Now we turn to the north. Following Zamorak's banishment by Guthics at the end of the God Wars, a powerful Magirart named Bilrak awoke from a long slumber, reinvigorated and determined to find a way to bring Zamorak back to Gielinor. In the year 1225 of the Fourth Age, Bilrak began a monumental project, tunneling down in a peninsula east of the wilderness. With a large workforce of humans, giants, and hobgoblins, he sought to reach the Rift, an interplanar portal that could presumably bypass the edicts of Guthics and allow Zamorak to return to Gielinor. The vast network of tunnels Bilrak created came to be known as Demonheim. As he delved deeper, guided by dark whispers, Bilrak faced numerous unforeseen challenges. The very structure of Demonheim seemed to resist his efforts, continually distorting the tunnels and altering their layout, often cutting off personnel and resources. Bilrak's ruthless determination led to the deaths of many of his workers. His workforce lived in constant fear and misery, as Bilrak showed no mercy. When his giants could no longer fit through the narrow tunnels dug by humans, he ordered them massacred, using their remains to feed other slaves. Bilrak also conducted breeding programs to replace his weakened servants and to create what he called improved slaves, experimenting with giants, goblins, and humans in his quest for an ideal workforce. As the Fourth Age continued, settlers ventured up the River Salve, seeking new lands to inhabit. Despite the warnings they received at Patadomus, they established settlements in their eerie and mysterious region of Mauritania. Among these were the towns of Canifis, Port Phasmatis, and Fenkenstrain's castle. Unfortunately, these settlements soon fell under the dominion of the vampires. Port Phasmatis experienced a brief period of liberation, only to be betrayed by their savior, Necrovarus. The inhabitants who had hoped for freedom found themselves transformed into ghosts, enslaved by Necrovarus's dark magic. This tragic turn of events highlighted the perilous nature of settling in Mauritania. In modern-day Kandarin, the elves discovered the abandoned and inaccessible Arandar mountain pass. 5 scouts were sent to explore the mountains, but only one returned. He brought back tales of the Iorwerth clan's rebellion, In response, King Baxtorian ordered the elves to return to Tiranwyn to retake Prifddinas. However, their efforts ended in failure. King Baxtorian returned to find his kingdom in ruins and his wife dead. Heartbroken, he is said to have buried himself under a waterfall, consumed by grief. The town of Lumbridge was founded in Mistalin during the Fourth Age. The first Duke of Lumbridge is believed to have been named Polonius, and the town was commissioned by King Claudius. Shortly after, Alcarid was built, but its people maintained their independence from Mistalin. These two settlements marked significant developments in the human civilization of Gielinor. One of the most pivotal discoveries of the Fourth Age was the uncovering of rune essence. This remarkable resource led to the dominance of humans in magical arts and marked the end of the Fourth Age. With the ability to craft powerful runes, humans gained a significant advantage, shaping the future of Gielinor. Several notable events from the Fourth Age remain shrouded in mystery, with their exact dates unknown. Among these, the dragon Garruk, who had destroyed many villages near the wilderness, was slain by the hero Camorra. Morton was affected by a haze originating from Castle Draken, transforming its inhabitants into the afflicted and disturbing shades in their catacombs. This event, according to the diary of Herbie Flax, occurred when Avaroka had been renamed to Varrock. The Zamorakian Order of Black Knights was established in northern Asgarnia, leading to constant conflict with the White Knights. This strife eventually led to the political overthrow and exile of the Black Knights from Asgarnia, setting the stage for their declaration of war against the White Knights into the Fifth Age. And that, my fellow adventurers, brings us to the end of our journey through the rich and storied history of Gielinor. From the birth of the world in the First Age to the cataclysmic events of the Second, the wars and turmoil of the Third Age, and finally the shaping of the world in the Fourth Age. These epochs have laid the foundation for the incredible world we step into as players. As we mark the dawn of the Fifth Age, it's important to remember that all the events we've explored today are part of the tapestry of history that predates our arrival in RuneScape. Each story, each conflict, and each triumph has set the stage for the adventures we embark on. Creating this video was a monumental task, but it was a labour of love. Diving deep into the lore and bringing these tales to life has been an incredibly rewarding experience, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you found this journey through the ages of RuneScape as fascinating as I did, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing for more lore explorations and adventures. Your support means the world and helps me continue to create content like this one. Also, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see another video covering the events of the 5th and 6th ages. There's so much more to explore, but I wanted to leave the video spoiler free, and I'd love to dive into those eras with all of you. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, may your quests be epic and your loot plentiful. See you in Gielinor.